Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Present reasons and arguments. Have an argument about something. Give evidence of. The evidence argues for your claim. Present reasons and arguments. A rational motive for a belief or action. The reason that war was declared. The state of having good sense and sound judgment. He had to rely less on reason than on rousing their emotions. Decide by reasoning. Draw or come to a conclusion. We reasoned that it was cheaper to rent than to buy a house. The capacity for rational thought or inference or discrimination. We are told that man is endowed with reason and capable of distinguishing good from evil. A justification for something existing or happening. They had good reason to rejoice. A fact that logically justifies some premise or conclusion. There is reason to believe he is lying. An explanation of the cause of some phenomenon. The reason a steady state was never reached was that the back pressure built up too slowly. Think logically. The children must learn to reason. Be engaged in a fight. Carry on a fight. Militant groups are contending for control of the country. Have an argument about something. Maintain or assert. He contended that communism had no future. Succeed in doing, achieving, or producing something, with the limited or inadequate means available. Compete for something. Engage in a contest. Measure oneself against others. To make the subject of dispute, contention, or litigation. A discussion in which reasons are advanced for and against some proposition or proposal. Have an argument about something. Think about carefully, weigh. The formal presentation of a stated proposition and the opposition to it, usually followed by a vote. Discuss the pros and cons of an issue. Argue with one another. We debated the question of abortion. Have an argument about something. Enclose with a fence. We fenced in our yard. A barrier that serves to enclose an area. Surround with a wall in order to fortify. A dealer in stolen property. Fight with fencing swords. Receive stolen goods. Be a signal for or a symptom of. These symptoms indicate a serious illness. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He indicated his opponents. Give evidence of. The results indicate the need for more work. Suggest the necessity of an intervention, in medicine. Tetracycline is indicated in such cases. To state or express briefly. Indicated his wishes in a letter. Perform, a play, especially on a stage. The period of time that is happening now. Any continuous stretch of time including the moment of speech. That is enough for the present. Give, especially as an honor or reward. Introduce. A verb tense that expresses actions or states at the time of speaking. Represent abstractly, for example in a painting, drawing, or sculpture. Hand over formally. Deliver, a speech, oration, or idea. The commencement speaker presented a forceful speech that impressed the students. Give an exhibition of to an interested audience. Cause to come to know personally. Give as a present. Make a gift of. Bring forward and present to the mind. We presented the arguments to him. Recognize with a gesture prescribed by a military regulation. Assume a prescribed position. Present somebody with something, usually to accuse or criticize. Being or existing in a specified place. The murderer is present in this room. Formally present a debutante, a representative of a country, etc. Something presented as a gift. His tie was a present from his wife. Temporal sense. Intermediate between past and future, now existing or happening or in consideration. The present leader. Perform, a play, especially on a stage. Form or compose. This sum represents my entire income for a year. Express indirectly by an image, form, or model. Be a symbol. Take the place of or be parallel or equivalent to. Be characteristic of. To establish a mapping, of mathematical elements or sets. Be the defense counsel for someone in a trial. Ms. Smith will represent the defendant. Bring forward and present to the mind. We cannot represent this knowledge to our formal reason. Create an image or likeness of. The painter represented his wife as a young girl. Play a role or part. Be a delegate or spokesperson for. Represent somebody's interest or be a proxy or substitute for, as of politicians and office holders representing their constituents, or of a tenant representing other tenants in a housing dispute. I represent the silent majority. Be representative or typical for. This period is represented by Beethoven. Describe or present, usually with respect to a particular quality. He represented this book as an example of the Russian 19th-century novel. Point out or draw attention to in protest or remonstrance. Our parents represented to us the need for more caution. Serve as a means of expressing something. The flower represents a young girl. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Lay out the tools for the surgery. Bring forward and present to the mind. Lay out orderly or logically in a line or as if in a line. Lay out the clothes. Provide a detailed plan or design. Spend or invest. Lay out thousands on gold. Talk at length and formally about a topic. Carry on a conversation. An address of a religious nature, usually delivered during a church service. An extended communication, often interactive, dealing with some particular topic. To consider or examine in speech or writing. Extended verbal expression in speech or writing. Carry on a conversation. Turned about in order or relation. A proposition obtained by conversion. Of words so related that one reverses the relation denoted by the other. Parental and filial are converse terms. Argue or speak in defense of. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. Argue or speak in defense of. State or assert. Protect against a challenge or attack. Be the defense counsel for someone in a trial. Ms. Smith will represent the defendant. Protect or fight for as a champion. Fight against or resist strongly. Be on the defensive. Act against an attack. Argue again. Reason with somebody, for the purpose of dissuasion. Argue over petty things. Worry unnecessarily or excessively. Have a disagreement over something. A quarrel about petty points. Argue over petty things. Argue over petty things. Coming into conflict with. Take exception to. A disagreement or argument about something important. He had a dispute with his wife. Have a disagreement over something. Contrast with equal weight or force. Set into opposition or rivalry. Be resistant to. The board opposed his motion. Fight against or resist strongly. The senator said he would oppose the bill. Act against or in opposition to. Be against. Express opposition to. We oppose the ban on abortion. Argue over petty things. An angry dispute. They had a quarrel. Have a disagreement over something. We quarreled over the question as to who discovered America. An arrow that is shot from a crossbow has a head with 4 edges. Argue over petty things. Let's not quibble over pennies. An evasion of the point of an argument by raising irrelevant distinctions or objections. Evade the truth of a point or question by raising irrelevant objections. Worthless material that is to be disposed of. Dispose of something useless or old. Scrap your old computer. A small fragment of something broken off from the whole. The act of fighting, any contest or struggle. The unhappy couple got into a terrible scrap. Have a disagreement over something. These two fellows are always scrapping over something. A small piece of something that is left over after the rest has been used. She jotted it on a scrap of paper. Make into scrap or refuse. Scrap the old airplane and sell the parts. Making the motions of attack and defense with the fists and arms, a part of training for a boxer. Any of various non-metallic minerals, calcite or feldspar, that are light in color and transparent or translucent and cleavable. A stout rounded pole of wood or metal used to support rigging. Box lightly. Fight verbally. They were sparring all night. Fight with spurs. The Gamecocks were sparring. Furnish with spars. A quarrel about petty points. Argue over petty things. Dispute or argue stubbornly, especially minor points. Have a disagreement over something.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.